trying to jerk the ball. And he's also actually losing some power in his attempt to create power. And so that's kind of interesting. But as far as swing stuff from watching, like when we face a college team, after I watch them hit their line drives and ground balls, leading up to the weekend, I know how tough of a time we're going to have. Mm-hmm. And I would say the normal college team, so the thing that stands out is if there's a guy that is hitting balls around the infield that have a chance to be a hit, that's a good hitter. And most guys, they only have ground balls going to a small area that have a chance to be a hit. The other ones are just choppers and rollovers and results of the poor swing or poor approach. It's hard to say. But when we're going and we're playing, you know, Oregon State or UCLA or Vanderbilt, in particular the last couple of years, you're seeing 3 or 4 of their hitters in their lineup. So many of their outs have a chance to be a hit. And the normal team, you maybe have 1 or 2 guys that have a lot of outs that have a chance to be a hit. And then the rest are just like,
I don't know how you feel about this.
It's crazy.
But I hate when talking about infield positioning, I hate when I have to ride straight up. Like, I hate it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to ride straight up, I'm like, especially a guy hitting, you know, if he's a good hitter and I have to ride straight up,
100%.
I'm like, well, we're not going to steal any hits from him, you know?
Yeah, I go around, there's the third baseman, the shortstop, the second baseman, and first baseman. And most hitters, if he hits it to the third baseman, I have a point where I can know it's at him or it's going to be the pull side.
Yeah.
It's not going to go to the other side. And then the shortstop, it's going to be at him or over. And in a lot of cases, you can move him around. And then, you know, let's say if it goes to second baseman, it's going to be a chopper. But a good hitter, it's so tough because he can hit it through the 6-hole and down the line. Mm-hmm. And then the shortstop, I feel like, is on an island because he can hit it up the middle and he can hit it in the 6-hole. And so that's what he's saying with straight up. But that's super rare. Mm-hmm. And then if you can show that to your players, your hitters, and like let them understand and know that stuff, you're talking about you know, tricking or whatever. It's like, hey, this is important, and finding a way. Like you can just go, boom, check this out, and then check you out. Which one's better?
Maybe, you know, maybe not as much at your level, they're a little more advanced, but especially at high school, you know, you got a trick.
You can even link it. You just begin the process of them assimilating information.
I've learned a lot. I mean, it's.
So who was the team you didn't think you had a chance against? Was it San Diego?
No,
no, it wasn't.
No.
I want to add. He's not here.
For example,
they got after it. I mean,
and they're very good. Yeah. Very good. Don't get me wrong.
They got after it. I thought. Except against
those teams that Vanderbilt. I'm watching Vanderbilt and I'm like, geez. Oregon State was very good last year.
Yeah. Well,
Oregon State does a good job of like they're late to the fastball.
You can see that. You can also see what is going on approach-wise and what is being taught. Because you also see some weird things like, man, these guys must be getting taught to do something weird.
Yeah.
Or these guys must, whether it's the culture or the players or the coaching, these guys are just jerking and just like, we can play all of our infielders at third base. Like, they're just going to hit them there.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
There are times, though, because when we played UCLA this year, I did the same thing. And I mean, they had their hitters, if they hit it on the ground, they were hitting it in a certain area. But they were also going to hit it over the fence.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, like, doesn't mean you're a bad hitter, but it's just, it is very unique when you have that base hit guy, especially a guy with speed, where you're like, man, I can't play the shortstop up the middle because he goes in the 6-hole, and I can't play my third baseman because he bunts, and I can't do this and this and this, and you're like, okay, this guy's going to be tough, you know?
What I was telling you yesterday at lunch, too, an area that I've learned is each hitter has a bat path, and it's not super changeable, I don't think. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's some guys that swing like this, there's some guys that swing like this, and there's some guys that swing like this.
Different angles.
And yeah, I don't like, this is the Adam Kennedy, Joey Votto. And this is the Altuve and somebody else that hits high fastballs good. I don't know. Yeah, Bregman maybe. You know, Bregman doesn't swing like Votto.
No.
His path is different. Chris
Bryant's
Bryant,
pretty much left
yeah,
field.
Chris Bryant swings different than Altuve
But is-
or Bregman. So
Isn't that some of that, just your build? Like,
I'm not really sure. I don't really know why, but what was interesting is, like as coaches, we hate ground balls or rollovers or whatever, but when Chris Bryant messes up and the ball hits the bottom of the bat, it might be kind of a bad ground ball to third because that's how his path is. Whereas Altuve, if he messes up, it might bounce and go through the middle because of the angle of their swing. So that's interesting.
I think there's a difference there though, like when Chris Bryant, like if there's a good quote unquote rollover ground ball and a bad one.
For sure.
Like the good one is when you hold your path and you just catch the top of the ball like on your upswing. And you know, like I mean, if you watch like JT hit a lot, he actually pulls a lot of breaking balls foul. Mm-hmm. And it's not because like where the bad one is like, okay, this is the hardest part I think for amateur guys to understand is like most of your pull side ground balls are because you're late, not because you're early.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like when you're late and you have to rush the barrel and you create topspin or rollovers because you're rushing the barrel, as opposed to when you're actually early on a pull side ground ball, I would say that's a good
side
pull side ground ball. It's the ones that you're late where they're bad. You know, I think that's the hardest part for younger guys to understand. Like you hit a ground ball at third baseman and then you tell the guy he was late and they're like, What are you talking about? I hit a ground ball at third baseman.
I'm early.
Well,
there's a lot. That's not just young hitters. There's a lot of coaches that think if you pull the ball,
Absolutely.
it's because you're out in front of it.
Absolutely.
I thought
That's not accurate.
for years, like if I'm playing shortstop and the guy fouls the ball into the right field stands, well he's late, so I should go up the middle a little.
That's what I was gonna say. No, he's not.
And from watching
He's right on.
Synergy, like I was telling you yesterday, you have the field and Altuve can be late and hit a ground ball down the right field line. But Chris Bryant, and it's a stretch because I haven't watched all of his ground balls, but Chris Bryant's path, if he's late, there's a chance that ball goes to second and he never hits to first base.
Yeah.
If he's late and it goes in the first base area, it's in the air.
Yeah.
Because he's coming here, and if he's late, it goes there. It doesn't, if he's late, it actually goes to third.
Yeah.
And so when you see, like, it's just as far as positioning infielders, but that really tells you a lot about swings. Like, he made, like, we played Washington in the Super Regional last year, and they have a little left-handed hitter who's really good named Braden Ward. And
He's all right.
You can throw Braden Ward a 99-mile-an-hour fastball away, and he's late, and he will not hit it to third base. He won't. He can't. And he's a good hitter, but he won't. And the dude bunts with 2 strikes. So, like we had, and this is crazy, and this is new for me, but we had like a runner on second in scoring position where you shouldn't drag because he's in scoring position with 2 outs. 2 strikes, and I played the third baseman like 6 feet in front of third base. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't hit it at third. But he's not gonna, like,
He's not going to.
and we could see, the physics of his swing, which I was able to see for like, 5-6 weeks of it, and then I saw him against that particular pitch on that day. And of course I could be wrong and get beat, but the swing isn't super changeable.
Yeah. You see, guys actually accept it's an outlier when they do something outside of what would be normal for what their swing allows them to do.
And they can cap it, and they can,
Sure.
you have
We're
to
gonna break for lunch real quick, but I want to hit that. I'll sit there. Come on. We're gonna put you underneath it right here.
Okay.
All right. And 2. Okay. So first thing I always ask is, okay, tell me about balance. What do you see in your balance?
I look kind of like bound in my shoulders.
Get that? It's got to, you hit 2 and 1, okay. I asked about balance, I go, where's there tension in your body? Right, so you found the tension in your body. What do you guys see in his balance?
Long on the back. Short
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, we're a little bit, remember I talked about that little thing here?
Yep.
That's where it's already a pedestal. So we see a lot of pressure coming down on top of the foot, right? So okay, so what I did is basically look for at what point is some part of the body going to start making the move forward. So in this case, it took 21 clicks before the front foot started to move. Great example. I couldn't ask you to do this better. So now we see, what did I say would happen when we pedestal? It's a front side move. All right? So you can see the beginning of it on the foot. Okay? But we're going to go back, and I want you to watch the relationship of the hands and the front foot when movement starts. Do you see as the front foot starts going, the hands have to move back to counterbalance because the body's not moving in balance, it's moving away from balance. Okay, so now we get to that same thing we talked about again. So when he gets down to his hitting position, is it a front side move, is it a balance move, or are you stuck on his backside? What do we have?
Stuck.
Front side move.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see shoulders engaged, and you can actually, because we don't have the 3D picture, but where's your body at? Okay, so you can see the shoulders are a bit off plane, and tension remains. Okay, and we talked about before, that's not a ride. So once again, we're going to go back to that one marker, and we're going to see how the back leg stays fairly straight. So as he comes down the position, you can see that the back leg stayed fairly straight. Now, if it was hitting 450 and drop bombs, I don't have much to say. But the reality is what we're looking at is, again, if that leg starts going straight, we've lost the backside. Now you can already see that the compensation has started, because where does the body compensate to drive its energy?
Shoulders.
Shoulders, yeah. And it's not like he has a choice in the matter. That's just what's going to happen. Okay. Now, as we go into the swing, do you see how the back leg is straight? Do you remember I said that you're going to see a sequence, and typically we're down at 50-50, back leg moves in a bit, and here comes the backside. All right? So, you can see how anchored everything is. A little bit of grind, right? Yeah. All right. How's this path going to be?
Around.
Okay. So at contact, you see after contact, where's his back going? Okay. And there's times we're going to, there's certain balls we get to where we're just, where they're at in the space we're hitting in the line, where we may not be able to maintain as much of the direction as we'd like. That's just, fact of, hitting over, 600 at bats. But you see the contact is here and then off. A lot of times, I like using the staircase model as well. So the idea with the staircase is, obviously if I move forward, I'm gaining ground. If I'm gaining ground, I'm actually getting my legs different, so I'm going to drop into the staircase. So I'm not trying to go this way in the staircase, but if I move into a staircase. And everybody's staircase is, different. But, so as we start there, for me, and then if you guys use your analysis, this is also a great tool for them to see, your players. But then you have to start understanding, you know, what are my eyes doing? Show me, okay, now, just make a great move 50-50 in a staircase. Now, both hands. Make a great move 50-50. How easy was that?
Easy.
Yeah, show them. Does that look better? All right, now, in like 5 minutes, your hitter's gonna get that too, aren't they? Now, what's the trick is when a ball's coming at you, can you make that move?
Right, it's different.
Yeah, okay, getting your 50-50 again. Okay, now what I'm gonna ask you to do, because I told you there's a little cheat, because generally speaking, you're going to see a lot of hitters position that pelvis off center, a little bit heavier in the back, creating a lot of this. So the little cheat is just a little bit, I'm talking that much. I'm not pulling with my front hip, I'm just adjusting because it's just, there's so much of it that a lot of your hitters, just by adjusting that a little bit forward, yeah, now make a move. Okay, make a big move. Go ahead. Carry and make a big move. Shift. How much more strength do you feel?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, now the other thing is, other ideas, is, you know, think that the minute I make the first 1/8 of an inch move forward, I'm going into a squat. So think the minute you're up and moving, you're going to go into a squat. Okay, now do that so they can see it. Relax those shoulders. Go. Okay, front side move or back side move?
Front side.
Yeah. So remember talking about backside control? Try to see from the sling or the flamingo or anything else, see if you can get this leg to make this move where it's controlling that move. Better or worse? How many say it was better? Raise your hands, vote. How many said it was worse? How many don't care? No. What'd you feel?
A different intent.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, do it again. Now as a hitter, doesn't it feel like ready to do some damage from there?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Just the move, because the body knows, I think it's just, I can't explain it, but it's real.
Well, the explanation was that when you said 90% of hitters lift up first.
Yeah.
For me, that simplifies a bunch of moving parts.
Okay.
So if I know the first move, then the rest falls into place.
So does this,
So see now, I see a little bit of carry. So what I mean by carry, he picks up the foot, and now the back half has an opportunity to carry me to my position. So I'm getting to here, so I can then fire.
And I also know what it feels like to work the sling. And for me to work the sling well, I have to feel like I'm sitting this
That glute.
glute into this chair. Over
It's
here.
the same thing on the wall, right?
Similar. Good, that was good. Do it again.
And I have to feel like toe up, real heavy.
Okay. So a lot of it, like I said, we haven't even seen the swing. We haven't even seen the swing. Do we need to see the swing anymore?
Yes.
No, we're going to swing some more, but from an analysis standpoint, we're fixing first causes. We're fixing the first things that are issues, right? And everybody's looking at, how to hit the ball, whatever the case may be. That's why it becomes disjointed, because we get caught up in the result, right? Okay. You can't be this alone. Go ahead, guys. Feel 50-50. Try to feel some of this. Go ahead, stand up. Try to feel it. Once you've got it, it really does work. And of course, you get to teach your students, don't they look like I'm not in balance or something else about it? Then you might go to an exaggeration drill. You might have to cheat. Let's say the question was made that he can't go without shifting. Okay, then we know that we have a little issue. I got a game tonight. Do you know what I'm going to do? What would I do that makes that kid's first move easier? I just get him up on the ball of the foot a little bit. Try it.
Like this one?
Yeah, because I can't lift it easy, so I'm going to pre-lift it.
Oh, man.
I'm going to pre-lift it, but I don't want to leave my heel. So I can actually understand, like, okay, if I can't do it, but I can do it from there.
I felt that. Yeah, you can. That's big. Oh, try that. Got it.
See, I feel like I'm on a back shift.
Okay, go up, no, just, but again, so you're actually spine chin angle. There you go, now, sorry.
About it.
Yeah, so again, you realize it says play with balance, but the good thing is, I guarantee you, once you understand balance, and once your body knows how to make that backside move to balance, it becomes easy because it's natural.
So yeah, a lot of people I think would talk about these things as like so minute things, but not when you're in the box.
Yeah.
Like, oh shoot, I don't think I can do that, and now I can. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and like I said, I've got a couple of my hitters. Oh, I really am remiss. Vinny, put your hand up. Vinny Colby. He came in a little earlier, and I completely forgot to throw him under the bus, but we'll talk to Vinny in a bit. I've got some of my hitters in here, some of my coaches. Vin helps coach. Eddie is working. Cal Lewis helping to coach, of course. You've met Toby, and the guys met other guys. But the thing is, these hitters will be able to do this. Garrett and I have had one of his younger players that's in college come out and work, and really had to work through tough fields, and it's getting better and better and better. You know, this young man really was just outstanding in his devotion to the work, and it was really frustrating because the first thing you hear from a hitter is, I can't do this. I can't feel this, right? But hang with them. Because let's say you start day one, guys go work on balance and give them some parameters. Give them a video watch, I don't care what it is. Believe me, you're going to have some pretty good hitters before long. However they're going to make their move, you're going to have some pretty good hitters before long because they're able to work from a much better position. The human body wants to work from balance. We can do anything we want from imbalance. We can force it to do it. Squash bugs, stay back, one-legged swings. We can do anything we want, but it's not going to optimize the way the body is designed to maximize our efficiency or our power. Now, when you came down, did you feel like you had something to deliver? Let's go find out.
We got hit.
Yeah. If I can just make sure I'm just moving forward. Whatever works for the hitter, works for me. Matt Lawson, come back. Okay, make your move. Let's see 50-50. Go. Okay, from there, golf. Straight ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Let the dog eat. Go. Golf. Good. That's why you can hit these pitches. You ready? Go. 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 All right? 4 swings. What was the difference?
Attention to balance.
Okay.
Feel balance.
And what happened off contact? Markedly improved. Whatever. And again, yeah, I paid him to make all this kind of look good. No, but this is fundamental. It has nothing to do with, you know, we just get our bodies in better positions. Feels pretty good, right? Yeah. Okay, so I use that golf drill again to isolate again, get underneath those shoulders. And I'm not trying to teach a loop. I can take a loop out of your swing. That's no problem because that's just a matter of when I golf here, my hands are going low. So when I hit, I want my hands just going right down their path. High pitch, I want to be very direct to the ball. I want to be able to play with the pitch I'm hitting, right? Fastballs, I can be direct. I can be a little here, and we'll talk about those 12-6s a little bit later. But it's all about hands working and being able to. What do you got?
I think like for me to make this move, it's not like
natural
side or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And to do it without a back shift, like I've got to create some like pressure on the inside part of my foot, right? Okay. And so I guess doing that when my front foot comes up, that may not always be the first thing. So like gaining confidence in the first move, I think is really important for every hitter.
Absolutely.
But those adjustments that you're talking to me about making, yes, those are going to impact the thing that JG was just talking about in terms of the swing itself. But like if you can, like as you were saying, on deck circle stuff with guys being simplified to just like their move or their go. Yeah. That's where the confidence is at.
Absolutely, and timing. Let's do some more. Shift that back in, just a hair.
Just what?
Don't give me that little quarter-inch shift. Relax, have some fun. Go. Now at this point, I would ask hitters down the line, saying, okay, what did you feel? What went wrong? What happened?
There's something to set up on that one.
Okay. Okay, make sure you've got your pieces in your setup for this practice. Good. Now, I thought that was a better miss. Why did I think that was a better miss?
I think you saw something different.
I saw just, I mean, the path is close, so it's like you have to tell the hitter. I'm treating you like a young hitter, or, you know, one of our college or younger hitters trying to say, okay, you're in the right area, keep working, because then keep that frustration out. We're like, right?
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. How relaxed do you feel?
More.
Oh, let's go. Go. Okay. So now the other thing we can do, and like I said, we're kind of throwing a lot of stuff out there, is I can have him tell me what he's feeling in his setup. Okay, coach, you know, yeah, I'm feeling the inside of my foot. Kind of trying to loosen my shoulders up. Got my little hip thing, okay, just like a little checklist. And it's really methodical at first. Really kind of get a sense of it, because you're like bringing in sensory perception of like feelings and things and trying to make this puzzle come together. So it's going to be a little methodical, and it'll only get better. So describe to me, what's your new setup?
I'm gonna be here, like
The thought of being there.
Feel like I need to be here, so that when I pick this up, like I've got control over my forward move.
Okay.
That's what I.
Okay. What about the rest of your setup? Where are your
I
hands?
think this has a piece to play in that, but like
The big
being
key.
balanced at top is the big piece.
Okay.
Like if I'm here, I don't have control over it.
Right. Okay. A couple more. Go. Go. Okay, step out real quick. And what I'd say is like, okay, reading the ball on contact, front side's taking over the swing. So now what I want you to really focus on letting that backside come through. Simple and easy. Go. Okay, right direction, we're fine. Go. All right, great. So again, to me, when we've got the time, there's a lot of little communications.
Yeah.
You
As
know?
soon as you went to hands right there, that was like, oh yeah, that's what I felt. Like you don't always realize what you feel until as soon as you went to hands, I realized I was getting outside of my back foot on those and getting shoulder.
This is what your hitter's going to be able to do. So we have then a total of probably, what, 10 or 15, 12, 15 minutes maybe? But I love the process. If you watch Matt working, you see he's working a field. Is this feel perfect yet? No. But it's also asking his body to do something from a new set of parameters it's not quite used to. So we kind of get that, you know, the sensory change.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And I don't know, I mean, I think that people feel a ton in their hands and feet. And since I feel big issues with where my weight's at on my back foot, so like there's a huge focus on that thing.
But that could be a good setup.
I think it's a good thing from a learning standpoint.
What do you mean by hands and feet? Can you talk more about that? It's like there's more of a connection there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like,
For him, yeah.
I think you just have more sensory neurons in your feet and hands. I think. I don't know that for sure, but I think I've heard that somewhere.
It wasn't a trick question. I was serious.
Yeah, like how you hold the bat, like usually an indicator of tension in some way, or that's why you see guys doing barefoot work sometimes, right?
Yep. How much better is that move he's making now?
So much better.
Okay, now you can see what I see about the body moving and carrying. Now I'm going to be a little critical, still front-sidey, but my God.
I hope so, because it didn't feel great, to be honest.
No, but it's just taking time because the body's working in a way it never has before.
Honestly, it looks better than I thought it would.
That looked a lot better than the swing, right? So we talked about the elements of, okay, wasn't perfect, right? We saw backside was a little bit off. Could he affect better contact? Was he in a better place than where he started? Yes. Was he perfect? No. We're never perfect, we're always just working there. But the degree of change in, the result we saw was tremendous.
Can I add something real quick?
You can add anything you want.
I've heard you talk before about how tension can impact vision. Like a balance and tension can impact vision and timing. And like that was the thing that I didn't pay enough attention to until I got in there. And that was the difference.
Yeah.
Just being free to see with both eyes on a level plane.
Yeah, I love that. Free to see.
How do you know when to not keep giving more?
Who?
You. Like you're seeing things and you're
I flipped this coin. No. A lot's going to, it's going to have what level hitter, what am I doing, playability, how easy moves are, how much fight there is. It's going to be a couple of things. Maybe it's a little intuitive, but the key is, I think that maybe that's where you get to chalk up to experience, and the minute I add something that's not working, I will take it out. I've told hitters, please don't do that. That doesn't work for you, let's not do that. And that can shake up a hitter, like, no, don't do that. But you just told me to do it. No, it's not doing what I want it to do. That doesn't work for you, so we're not going to do it. I'm not here to confuse the hitter. Now, formative hitters, younger hitters, even college guys, you can work them through the tough patches. If I've got a guy getting in the game soon, put him facing Chris Sale, we're going to do something a lot simpler. But again, luckily most of those fixes aren't really big in nature. And again, the biggest thing I'm going to see is timing. Some body move affected timing. Front side move made me here, which makes me feel late, versus being able to feel that I'm here. Questions? Keep going. What do we got? Jason, you look like you got a question.
Yeah, for Matt, when the first set, it looked like you were pulling the hands back.
Yeah.
And then how did it feel when you were going 50? Were you thinking consciously about what you were doing with your hands?
Only after he said something about my hands.
Okay.
Because so for me, that information's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not mine. I don't have enough ownership of it yet.
Right.
To where it's my thumbprint. So there is a checklist, I guess.
Yeah.
And I can't think about more than one thing at a time. So that became the thing that took over priority.
Can anybody think about more than one thing at a time?
Well, but the time frame can go fast.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you can go.
So
it
is a sequence of events.
You can add pieces, but again, there's different processing, different communications. For instance, if I say the word mountain, every one of you just saw a mountain in your head. But I might have been seeing Mount Vesuvius or something, or Fujiyama, and you're looking at Mount Baldy and somebody's thinking of Everest, right? So there's always a little bit disconnect in how we say things. So we've really got to be careful, because we have sometimes put too much emphasis on what we see, and me as a coach, I got to know what mountain you're looking at. Flat out, what I'm thinking about the move is one thing, but the communication of the verbiage, I think, has to be as clean as I can. And I would talk to Matt differently. I'll talk to Toby, then I'll talk to anybody here, because this is Matt. So we haven't actually worked enough to get your processing, but I see a need to integrate information and kind of feel it through.
I'll say this, I've seen Doug work with a lot of people. I've been really fortunate. And I know one thing that I my issue is like, I'll see him working with someone and I'll go to like the small things. And he's like, no, not yet. It's like, I know from experience of, he works with this broad spectrum, and then like over the course of the day or time, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So like, I don't know, like, you can tell he just talks about balance, really. Like, there wasn't like a specific thing that he, like, okay, this round we're just feel your hip or whatever it is. So it was really broad, and then over time, that's when those small fixes come into play. Like, I've seen them where it's like, okay, that's the first day. Now I've also seen, 2.5 months in, when it's like a hand positioning change of like, let's lower your hands 2 inches. And that's all we're thinking about this round. So like, I don't know, you said experience, which is like, that plays a big role in it, because I know for me, like, I'll try to fix 6 different things. And it's like, okay, just bring the big picture in, and that's like, where for me, I think just talking about hand path is the most important thing in the broad spectrum, and then you can make fixes under that umbrella, I guess, of like balance and hand path.
Yeah, the adjustments.
Yeah.
And again, after you dial in the process, you're doing things, then, it's fine tuning or making little changes. But see, that's the process of being able to see what's happening game time, and communicating, how feels are. The tough thing is hitters, we want to be perfect right now.
From a hitter's perspective, when you started talking about that, like, I knew he could go on here and look at any one thing and pick it apart. So, like, every hitter probably has, unless they're just breaking, and that if you have no reason to talk to them and you're talking to them, then it's your fault. But like, if you're struggling as a hitter, then you're completely vulnerable. And so, yeah, he could have picked out anything, and it would have been, there could have been a deficiency there, but because you chose not to do that and paint it with a broad brush, then that freed me up a little bit not to have to worry about those little things.
And better yet, now you can start feeling your own way through.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, because we get to a point where, like I said, a hitting coach can add something that, like I said, needs to come out. But we've got to let you evolve. It's got to let the hitter says, hey man, my hands really feel good here, 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 here. My feet feel better if I do this, because that's fine-tuning your DNA. But again, that's why I said when we go in the gym, we can start beating up and really getting the body to work under duress and strengthen the moves. And I tell my youngest hitters to my oldest hitters, if you're doing hundreds of 50-50 moves over and over every day, there's a day you're going to get in the box and just turn off, and your body automatically makes that move. Now the tough thing is when we're rewiring, and like I said, you can see in Matt's case how we have to rewire that upper quadrant, which is pretty standard for a hitter. So how do I rewire this for him? You guys know.
Right foot.
Backside. Exactly. So what I'm going to try and do is see if we can get this range, is try to see if we can incorporate early squat or that glute move, or we got to find that one thing that allows this to go here rather than here. See the difference? Mm-hmm. I mean, it might be small, but it's huge. Let's see what you can work on there. So what I will do is put the hitter here just working. I'll walk away, get some water, chat with the next hitter. But again, the biggest process you've got there is that. Now I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. Okay, stay freeze. Can you see Matt's face? Do you see how tense he was? Okay, so here you go. I need to relax because really focus is like, I want to take it all out. Go ahead, put the dip tongue in. Now make a move again. Feel relaxed. Over and over and over. Oh, your fellow coaches want to see you in profile. Go ahead. Oh, put your foot against the couch.
Here?
I do, yeah. So racing, as he's doing that, I'll put guys under the table to feel that they're not going back. I guarantee you, a lot of guys will get here and they're like, man, I'm hitting TV. But you learn, if your body knows that if I'm in a good position, I can make this move. Try it, Ron. Go ahead.
I need to head out, and I've been waiting for the last like 5 minutes, but you just keep going, and it's all good stuff. But thank you very much.
Let's talk soon.
Yes, definitely. And thank you guys. Good to meet all you guys.
For me, it's just a matter of it's a simplified thing. So for me right now, if I were to step in here before yesterday and hit, my move would have been, I would have been here, and I would have rocked back without picking my foot up, but I would have rocked into the backside and then worked back to forward. And my move back to forward, I feel like is already pretty good, but the move back just adds more shit that doesn't need to be in there. You know what I mean? So it just it takes away half of it, which will allow me to be better on time if I were going to face someone, as opposed to having to literally, like, sometimes I would feel like I got to start here before this guy starts. We talked about pitchers that might be a 1-1-5 to the plate. I got to start here before he starts so that I can go up and back down in time. But if all I'm worried about is just going boom right back to the middle, it makes it
Cleaner.
cleaner and more efficient in a faster amount of time.
How relaxed do you feel making that move now? There's less going on.
For
Think about
sure.
it. There's less
Yeah.
going on.
And I have to do the same thing. I have to literally think about, like, because I'm worried about what everything's doing, so that creates tension. But if I can just think about staying in the heels, relaxed here, I feel like.
How many think those are pretty good positions? Okay, so like I said, we've taken 2 pretty darn good coaches, and now we've got tools for 20 more players, 40 more players, right? Jeff, you had a question.
Oh no, I was talking to him at lunch, and he said something that I thought was interesting that everybody might want to hear. He said he's gotten to a point now where when he feels this, he gets sore.
Actually, yeah, come on up, Doug. Because I remember you went through this, I mean, he's working through mobility, but while he was transforming, he actually was in pain.
No, my lat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did kill. Well, you want me to say about it?
Talking stick.
Yeah, walking stick. So, I mean, it's the beginning, you had to make some changes, but once you started doing that, tell them about the pain.
Okay, so in the beginning, my lat used to get really tight from always having a front side move, and I wasn't ever able to make this move, and the front side would just take over. So I had to go to like a manual therapist and just get this rubbed down like twice a week, and after about 2 or 3 weeks, I could start making this move a lot cleaner.
Remember?
Yep. But this was like completely preventing me from using my backside because it just wanted to take over.
Does it still happen?
After a while of hitting, they'll tighten up and I'll go get it rubbed out again.
We find hitters who are actually, imbalance in what's going on here. So you get them on one side, it's like no big deal. You get them here, it's like ow, because they've developed an imbalance in their body based upon the movements they anticipate and are going to try to affect.
I have a really cool lat thing with my Accu balls if anybody wants to see at the end.
Doug's in.
Check it out.
Big time.
Doug, I have a kind of another story to follow up on that
please,
too.
fire away.
When I was, I told him yesterday, but I came off of my year in Tacoma in the PCL, having a good year, AAA year, and felt like, man, okay, I'm close, knocking on the door. And then I got sent back down to AA, and was starting to I was doing all right, but then there was a pitch, and it was a high fastball, and I was a right throw, left hit, and I made that move here, and my arm came out of socket and sublexed, tore my labrum in the process, and I think about this stuff now. I never even thought about that move, and I know I did it because I can just think about how my swing was, but especially when I felt beat, that would go, and that's essentially what caused, and I never had a shoulder problem my whole life until then, but it caused, that joint to pop out, and when it popped back in, it tore my labrum, or when it popped out, whatever. So,
Which
that's
is
a big,
and you understand then the body's not working the way it's supposed to.
Right.
We're fighting against the body. We don't break things in our body unless we put it under external forces that it's not meant to do. Go ahead. My elbow doesn't bend under, but if I try to bend it under something, will break, right? So again, we start realizing, like, yeah, there's danger, there's damage involved in a bad swing. We know for sure it happens in throwing, and we take that for granted, right? So hopefully we're trying to get a little bit more wise about how our bodies work in throwing, but we never have to think about what happens to shoulders, knees, obliques, you know, and obliques are very small muscles that take a long time to heal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you ever watch a hitter come off oblique? It's like, man, I don't know if I want to swing, right? There's always that, you know, that little bit of psychology, and there's like, and that psychology now affects my timing because fear. And then we talked about compensation. Talked about when you broke your toe, right? Ron was telling me he broke his toe, but not bad enough to come out of the game, you know, out of the lineup. But he took the pressure off of it on his left foot. He took the pressure off of it, right? What happened after that?
Started raking. Well, because my whole thing in college, not being really taught the swing that well, was I would, you know, it would always be like, oh, kind of like you're stealing a base, and was use the ground was commonly said, but not correctly taught. But my thought was always to push, so the swing became more of like a, you know, that move instead of kind of being in it. And by default, I broke the toe and was I couldn't really push off of it anymore. So it kind of helped me just probably sit right into that position.
Get that kinetic chain.
Yeah.
What happened to your power?
I hit way more homers. I mean, probably like 4 in the last 2 weeks, and I didn't hit homers, or else I wouldn't.
So you see, I mean, he stumbled, you know, onto a move, and I think that's what a lot of hitters do in time. Is the lucky ones stumble into something that works and allows them to be effective. But for the grand number of hitters, most of them don't get that. We stumble wrong. Because it's those flaws that we can't figure out. That means, you know, we're going to get, you know, that red slip. Go ahead, Jeff. Oh, I thought you were, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
So far, so good, right? Okay, ready for some more?
Yep. I'm gonna work on staying up here when I land in my 50-50.
Okay, let's have fun with it. Go. 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 Okay, what are you feeling?
Like off of this front side.
Okay, so let's adjust that hip again. And let's keep this front side tall with this point here. Go. 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 Good example. Where do you have that ball?
Located?
Located.
In, but not far.
Jeff, where was that ball?
I was watching his feet, to be honest. I didn't.
Oh.
I mean, it
What
could,
good are you?
very well could have been here, but it didn't feel it.
Did not fill in, did it? All right, and we're talking probably 2 balls, 2.5 balls in. So I see that as a big plus, right?
Yeah.
Go. Go. All right, at this point, we're going to rush ahead and, you know, let you work through. But now, what I want you to do is I want you to try and get some extension. I want now to focus. I think the body's starting to sync up a little bit. Let's see if we can get some top hand extension. With that goal being you start that hand at A, don't let anything happen. Just get that top hand to A to B. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about the bat. Don't worry about anything. Top hand extension, A to B. Let's get some great direction. Go. I like the landing better. Go. Not that, just the hand. Spank. Go. Deep breath. Go. So tell me about that swing. It was ground ball. What happened?
Just a lot of barrel.
Okay, what creates barrels?
No, not not creating, like, all my attention.
Yeah, but what created, yeah, but what happened?
I don't know.
Front side, bottom hand. It's your only villain. Easy right hand extension. Did that feel like a left hand or a little bit more right hand?
Right.
Here you go. Go. Did that feel like more right hand or more left hand?
It just felt up here,
Which means?
as opposed to like here. So yeah.
Got pulled to that position.
Yeah.
There you go. Go. Ready for play? Split grip.
More?
No, just about quarter of an inch. Really feel that right hand, A to B. Work it under. Go. Now you see how much the left hand is holding that back?
Yep.
Make it the right hand. Go. Now when I throw the ball down in the zone, were you thinking about your hands or trying to get the bat down on the ball?
I'm trying to think about my hands.
I know. Okay. How relaxed are your hands?
Pretty relaxed. That's barrel.
All right. I am excited because you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Freeze. Okay, so I want to make a physical adjustment that I see. Stay there, you. What was the word? Freeze.
Freeze.
Lead hand.
Right?
Just his lead hand.
So now let's get this free to go. Relax. Come on. Just be here. Just give some room there, nice and light. You see how you want to advance, so I'm just going to be here because all your only direction is from over there. But we've got to control and feel how it's going.
Yeah.
So it creates a little fight for the backhand. Right?
Tell us about it, Doug.
What we did was adjust the shoulder because you can see Matt's move was coming here off plane. So I'm just trying to get it a little bit more over the hips. And I'm trying to adjust this hand to be more in this position, lightly. Kind of like we talked about, lighter position.
And what was the thought process with the split?
The what?
The split, what was the thought process there?
Splitting gives a hitter feeling like he could really feel like, oh, left hand, left hand, left hand, right hand. It's awkward because it doesn't feel normal, but it really gives you a point so that I can really feel this because we're together sometimes. That I feel this move, but I can really feel it here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So, what was that do?
Yeah, bring it back to here.
It helps me feel the right hand too.
Hip shift. Go. Where's the battle?
So yeah, now I can really feel my barrel just going across.
Okay. So let's go to a high finish. Let's think about a great, beautiful high finish. You see a great finish. Go. Good. Now, pitch out of the zone up and in, right? How'd you get to that ball? Was it hard or easy?
Nice.
Okay, so that's how I'm playing down here. Yeah, not necessarily I crank one up here, which is basically everybody's, red zone. But it only matters to me that we're easy to get there. That gives me a shot that I can get that later. Take a quick break. The other thing we've got to break because hitters start getting tired, overwrought. We got to let the mind kind of settle in because he's just got hit with a lot of changes, So his body's kind of like trying to feel a lot of different things. And this would be, I think, obviously over time for a process of demonstration, it's a rush. But the good thing is you can see Matt's processing and feeling. And so I'm showing ideas of other things to do, but quite honestly, after the second round, I would leave a young hitter there. You're good. Go do that for a while. And then just say, hey man, hit through some balls. Hit through the ball. Inside pitch, hit it straight up there. You know, go ahead, hit through some stuff. Feel that you're going here. And then after, you know, a couple of days, let's see how that dialed in. And let's see if there's another fix. But it's tough because hitters want to do more. So you've got to explain how the process is working to them. And Vinny and I were talking, walking to lunch, saying like, BP, home runs, we all love it, right? It's like very self-satisfying. And how do we prevent making that, you know, a problem? Because we can say, I'm not trying to hit home runs, but how many of us got a BP and like hitting home runs, right? And we know it's BP, but you know, maybe it's, you know, territorial when other teams are looking and say, look out for me, right? Maybe it's just, you know, the field competing within yourself. But the reality is, it's a tough mentality to beat because it's our human nature, right? How many BPs have you thrown, Jeff, in your life and the kids just want to tee off?
I can't count them all.
Yeah.
When you start worrying about, you showed us just about the lead hand. I thought his hand,
yes, it is,
could have been, maybe that would have relaxed the front side
shoulder
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing was, though, I watched his hands when he got back to getting launch position. He kind of moved it into
a better position. Now, but what I agree with on Jeff's realized that, but he's right about this, is that the initial setup is putting tension in the front shoulder. So do we have more success by being able to relax it? And that's why I say we talk about play things. What I've been doing is trying to intentionally stay away from the front side because it's already kind of an over, but you know, we can work right into that next round. And you know, but again, sometimes we put the focus too much on something, not doing something, it's just like, it's like asking to come back all the time.
Yeah, you were trying to correct it with the backside. That's what your adjustment was.
Yeah.
I saw that, but I was wondering when that makes
So when he did that, like we'll probably see it on film here, is that I could feel myself wanting to, so that took away a ton of tension.
Yeah.
And then I could feel myself like working to get that tension. Like
trying to get it back.
Almost like crap.
Yeah.
I don't know how to swing without tension in some way.
We talk about it in throwing all the time. My partner like does a tension thing, and everybody thinks they need to throw with tension. And I hadn't heard it like that until you just said that.
That was the old 80% gives you 100%. Relax and throw at 80. You know, instead of 100. Everybody wants to.
Victor Martinez in Sports Illustrated a bunch of years ago said I swing at 70%. That's what you rank.
See, I love this process. I can see Matt's wheels turning. You know, and the tough thing is a hitter will actually get in their own head. But the one thing we do is we've got to kind of let them think and feel, but we also have to be sure that we're not letting them get frustrated. You know,
for sure.
Trying to like, I can't find it. Because again, we talked about frustration. Again, we got to shut it down. If you can't find it calm, you are not going to find it when you start getting frustrated. Then you get frustrated because like, I can't find it. Relax, it'll come. And that's what I say, it'll come.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
all you have to do is
hard trick of coaching where I would give
coaching.
Max a little less information because I think too much is
start
kind of really,
okay,
and then
now,
where someone else, maybe me, you could just start,
yeah.
You need it, you know. It's,
see where we're sitting now is that's why we're actually sitting. You know, as a matter of letting his mind just kind of regroup. That's why I like having other hitters. Because then you can rotate another hitter in and cues may not be the same, but it gives you time to see something. Then you start seeing a guy do something, you go, wow, man, that clicked. I was telling Jonathan, I had one of my big leaguers call me a couple of days ago and sent me a video, and you know, we'd been trying to work through like some thoughts and feels, and you know, a couple of years ago. And I guess he watched one of the video podcasts we did, and just by hearing something set you.
does. Oh, I love this.
It's funny because this is so foreign, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like left hand. I'm also starting to feel some things physically that I wouldn't have felt before.
And make sure to tell them. Yeah, absolutely.
What were you feeling?
Like groin restriction. Like that's not a hitting muscle I'm using. So now I'm like crap, I need to stretch right here. Or I think my hips are out. Like.
Do you have? Yeah, I did. Oops. Hey man, I'm sorry. You know. So what I'd like to do after this, because this brings up something. Doug, could you bring out the Bosu ball and the 90-pound strap?
Yeah.
Thanks. But on the good side, see, I look at, in my element, the most important thing we had to do today anyway is just have a better feel for balance and make a better move without back shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first component is already in place. So we've had nothing but success. See the difference?
Yeah.
And that's where a hitter kind of goes, well, like, no, man, we're well on the way.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what we're seeing again, right?
Heck yeah.
Any back shift? Now you see how there's more carry? How's that 50-50? How's that
Better, much better.
50-50?
Much
Right?
better.
Now, the other thing is this is where hitters get a little bit worried because they start thinking, I got to be really big back here.
Yes.
I've told us, we don't need much here to be able to damage because we're right top of the zone. Now, let's see how the body sequence is working. Foot's down.
Now we can use the snake.
There it is.
Right.
What did you see? Foot down, and there's the knee. So the next time I see the right sequence is the hands moving. There they go. Pretty close. Now, look at the back foot at contact. There's drive there now. So that's closer to the sequence that we want to see. And remember, no hitter has an ideal sequence every time they swing back, but they can be pretty tight. That wasn't bad. Didn't look like you.
Scissoring.
Huh?
He started scissoring too.
Yeah.
Even though he-
And again, we've talked about the scissor as being, but some guys scissor and they're not thinking about scissoring. It's just that intent and the feeling, you know, it's like almost turning over to your body. Looks, this is what we're doing, so whatever you need to do. All right? Okay, let's.